So this is the sort of technology which the Chinese want to show us. And what they're telling us is that they've got a bit of everything, that they can do the really big stuff, they can do the small stuff, and that they're ready to do it now.
If you thought military dominance was about tanks and jets, think again, because China is rewriting the rulebook. From laser weapons that sound like something out of Star Wars to hypersonic missiles that can strike anywhere on Earth in minutes, China is potentially leaping ahead with military superpowers. Today, we're diving deep into China's jaw-dropping innovations. So, stay with us as we break down China's most shocking military advances and why they have the Pentagon on edge. The game-changing laser weapons. Let's kick things off with something that looks straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's absolutely real. China's LY-1 high-power laser weapon made its debut at their recent military parade, and honestly, it's both fascinating and terrifying at the same time. Instead of traditional missiles or bullets, imagine a weapon that fires concentrated beams of light capable of melting through metal and disabling enemy equipment in seconds. That's exactly what the LY-1 brings to the table. This beast is reportedly designed primarily for protecting ships against drones and missiles, but it also has serious potential for land-based operations. But here's where it gets really interesting and a bit scary. Traditional weapons need ammunition, right? You run out of bullets, you reload. You fire all your missiles, you're done. But laser weapons, they just need power. As long as there's electricity, they can keep firing indefinitely. No reloading, no running out of ammo, just continuous, precise destruction. What makes this even more mind-blowing is the speed. These lasers travel at the speed of light, literally. That means there's virtually no time for enemy forces to react or take evasive action. One moment their drone is flying toward a target, the next moment it's a pile of melted metal falling into the ocean. The parade actually showcased two different versions of laser weapons, one massive system designed for naval air defense, and another smaller, more portable version. This suggests China is developing a whole family of these weapons for different combat scenarios. The implications here are staggering. If these laser systems work as advertised, they could revolutionize naval warfare. Imagine Chinese warships that can swat down incoming missiles like flies, or disable enemy aircraft before they even get close. It's like having an invisible shield that can also strike back. Now, some experts are wondering, is this just for show, or is China really ready to deploy these weapons? The truth is, we're probably looking at technology that's still being perfected, but the fact that they're confident enough to show it off publicly suggests they're closer to deployment than many people realize. Hypersonic missiles that defy physics. If laser weapons weren't impressive enough, let's talk about China's hypersonic missiles, weapons that are literally rewriting the rules of modern warfare. The recent parade showcased the YJ-15, YJ-17, YJ-19, and YJ-20 anti-ship missiles for the first time, all capable of operating at long ranges and hypersonic speeds, making them incredibly difficult to intercept. But wait, what exactly makes these missiles so special? Well, when we say hypersonic, we're talking about speeds that are absolutely mind-bending. These weapons can travel at over 5 times the speed of sound. Some reports suggest they can hit Mach 10 or even faster. According to intelligence reports, in a test conducted earlier this year, one missile flew over 2,100 kilometers in just 12 minutes, reaching average speeds that are simply breathtaking. To put that in perspective, if you fired one of these missiles from China toward a target in the Pacific, it could reach its destination faster than most people can finish watching a YouTube video. But speed is only part of the story. What makes these missiles truly revolutionary is their ability to maneuver during flight. Traditional ballistic missiles follow predictable arcs. They go up, they come down, and defense systems can calculate their path. Hypersonic missiles, they can change direction, altitude, and speed mid-flight, making them nearly impossible to track and intercept. The DF-27, in particular, has been described as a potent carrier killer due to its range, speed, and ability to maneuver in flight, with the capability to hit targets as far as Hawaii. Think about that for a moment. A single missile that could potentially threaten one of America's most important Pacific bases. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned in April 2025 that China's hypersonic missiles could sink all US aircraft carriers within minutes of a potential conflict. That's a sobering statement from one of America's top defense officials, and it shows just how seriously the Pentagon is taking these threats. What's even more concerning is that current missile defense systems simply aren't designed to handle these kinds of weapons. The THAAD system, Patriot missiles, even the most advanced interceptors in the world struggle with traditional ballistic missiles against hypersonic weapons that can change course at will. The challenge becomes exponentially harder. Some defense analysts are wondering if we're looking at a completely new era of warfare, where traditional concepts like safe distance and defensive positioning might become obsolete. When your enemy can strike anywhere on the planet in minutes with weapons that can't be reliably intercepted, how do you even begin to plan a defense? AI-powered drone swarms and autonomous warfare. Now, continue dive into what might be the most unsettling development of all: China's advancement in artificial intelligence and autonomous weapons systems. The parade featured unmanned intelligence systems, underwater combat units, cyber and electronic forces, highlighting the growing capacity of the People's Liberation Army to harness emerging technologies and adapt to the evolving character of warfare. We're not just talking about remote-controlled drones here. We're talking about weapons that can think, adapt, and make decisions on their own. The FH-97, described as China's first combat-ready stealth drone and potentially the first of its kind in the world, is capable of coordinated attacks alongside crewed jets. Imagine this scenario: a swarm of hundreds or even thousands of AI-powered drones launches simultaneously. They communicate with each other, share information, adapt their tactics in real time, and coordinate attacks without any human input. If one gets shot down, the others instantly adjust their strategy. If they encounter unexpected defenses, they figure out new ways around them. Stealthy, new autonomous drones are among the capabilities China showcased, suggesting they're building entire autonomous combat systems. These aren't your typical military drones that require constant human oversight. These are machines designed to operate independently in complex combat situations. But here's where it gets really wild. The parade included robot dogs among the weapons displayed. Yes, you heard that right, robotic military dogs. While the exact capabilities of these systems haven't been fully revealed, the implications are staggering. Ground-based autonomous units that can navigate complex terrain, carry weapons or equipment, and potentially operate behind enemy lines without risking human soldiers. The underwater autonomous vehicles are equally impressive. China displayed large autonomous sea vehicles for the first time, suggesting they're developing submarine drones that can operate independently underwater. Think about submarine warfare, but without the need for human crews, operating in complete silence and potentially staying submerged for months at a time. What makes this technology so concerning isn't just its capability, it's the speed of decision-making. Human soldiers need time to assess situations, communicate with command, and make decisions. AI-powered weapons can analyze threats, choose targets, and execute attacks in fractions of seconds. In modern warfare, where split-second decisions can determine victory or defeat, this could provide an overwhelming advantage. Some military experts are asking uncomfortable questions. Are we approaching a future where wars might be fought entirely by machines? And if so, what happens when these AI systems encounter situations their programmers never anticipated? Stealth technology and invisible warfare. Let's shift gears and talk about something that's equally impressive but operates in the shadows: China's advancements in stealth technology. China has made significant advances in developing stealth technology, and what they revealed recently suggests they're not just catching up to existing stealth capabilities, they might be surpassing them. Stealth technology is like the ultimate game of hide and seek, except the stakes are life and death. The goal is to make military assets, planes, ships, even ground vehicles, virtually invisible to enemy radar and detection systems. It's not about being completely invisible to the naked eye, but rather about being invisible to the sophisticated sensors and tracking systems that modern militaries rely on. What makes China's approach particularly intriguing is how they're integrating stealth technology across different types of weapons systems. We're not just seeing stealth fighters like the J-20, but stealth drones, stealth missiles, and potentially even stealth naval vessels. The FH-97 stealth drone represents what could be the world's first combat-ready stealth drone, combining autonomous AI capabilities with stealth technology. Think about the implications: an unmanned aircraft that can penetrate enemy airspace undetected, make its own tactical decisions, and strike targets without ever being spotted by conventional radar systems. But stealth isn't just about avoiding detection, it's about information warfare. In modern military conflicts, information is often more valuable than firepower. If you can see your enemy, but they can't see you, if you know where they are, but they don't know where you are, you've already won half the battle before the first shot is fired. The really fascinating part is how stealth technology is evolving beyond just radar invisibility. Modern stealth systems are designed to minimize heat signatures, reduce acoustic footprints, and even mask electromagnetic emissions. It's like creating military ghosts, weapons that can strike and disappear without leaving a trace. Some defense analysts are speculating about stealth swarms, groups of stealth drones working together, sharing information while remaining individually invisible to enemy sensors. Imagine trying to defend against an attack where you can't see the attackers, don't know how many there are, and can't predict where they'll strike next. The psychological impact of stealth weapons shouldn't be underestimated either. There's something deeply unsettling about facing an enemy you cannot see, cannot track, and cannot predict. It changes the entire dynamic of military engagement from a chess match to a horror movie. The nuclear dimension and global implications. Now we need to address the elephant in the room: nuclear capabilities and what China's recent revelations mean for global security. China's recent military display revealed a complete nuclear triad, signaling a bold step in strategic modernization, and the implications of this development extend far beyond just military hardware. China has around 600 nuclear weapons in its arsenal, and what's particularly concerning is how they're modernizing their delivery systems. The DF-41 will likely be nuclear capable, meaning China now possesses intercontinental ballistic missiles that can deliver nuclear warheads anywhere on the planet with incredible precision and speed. But let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What does all of this technology mean for global power dynamics? For decades, military superiority has been largely determined by factors like troop numbers, naval fleet size, and air force capabilities. But what we're seeing from China suggests a fundamental shift toward high-tech, autonomous, and precision-based warfare. China's recent moves in the Pacific demonstrate its military power, including unannounced naval exercises off the coast of Australia that caused significant disruption to flights in the Tasman Sea. This is about demonstrating the willingness and capability to project power across vast distances. The question that keeps defense experts awake at night is this: has China achieved technological parity with traditional military superpowers, or have they actually leapfrogged ahead in certain critical areas? When you combine hypersonic missiles that can't be intercepted, AI-powered autonomous weapons that don't need human operators, laser systems that never run out of ammunition, and stealth technology that makes detection nearly impossible, you're looking at a military capability that's fundamentally different from anything we've seen before. Fighter jets, hypersonic missiles, and AI-powered drones showcased at China's recent parade have experts discussing the need for new deterrent strategies. The traditional concept of deterrence relied on the ability to retaliate. If you attack us, we can attack you back. But what happens when your opponent can strike so quickly and effectively that retaliation becomes impossible? Some geopolitical analysts are wondering if we're witnessing the emergence of a new kind of military doctrine, one where the ability to win a conflict in the first few minutes becomes more important than sustained fighting capability. In this scenario, whoever can disable the enemy's command and control systems, destroy their key military assets, and neutralize their response capabilities in the opening moments of a conflict effectively wins the war before it really begins. The economic implications are staggering too. Traditional military build-ups required massive industrial capacity, years of production, and enormous financial resources. But many of these new Chinese technologies rely more on advanced computing, sophisticated software, and precision manufacturing, areas where technological advantages can be gained relatively quickly and at lower costs than building entire fleets of ships or squadrons of aircraft. What this means for the future of warfare. So, what does all of this mean for the future? Are we looking at a complete revolution in how wars are fought? Or is this just the latest step in the ongoing evolution of military technology? Let's think about how warfare has changed over the past century. World War I was characterized by trench warfare and massive infantry battles. World War II introduced strategic bombing, tank warfare, and the beginning of electronic warfare. The Cold War era brought nuclear deterrence and proxy conflicts. Each era was defined by its dominant technologies and tactical approaches. What China has revealed suggests we might be entering an entirely new era, one where speed, automation, and precision trump traditional concepts like numerical superiority and defensive positioning. In this new paradigm, the side that can strike first with undetectable, unstoppable weapons and make decisions faster than human reaction times could gain decisive advantages. But let's also consider the potential vulnerabilities of these advanced systems. AI-powered weapons are only as good as their programming and training data. Hypersonic missiles require incredibly sophisticated guidance systems that could potentially be disrupted. Laser weapons need enormous amounts of power that could be targeted. Stealth technology might be vulnerable to new detection methods that haven't been developed yet. The real question isn't just whether China has developed superior weapons, it's whether these weapons represent a sustainable military advantage or a temporary technological lead that other nations will eventually match or counter. There's also the human factor to consider. Military technology has always been about more than just hardware. It's about training, doctrine, logistics, and the ability to integrate new capabilities into existing military structures. Having impressive weapons is one thing. Being able to use them effectively in real combat situations is something entirely different. Some military historians point out that revolutionary weapons don't always live up to their initial hype. The machine gun was supposed to end warfare by making it too deadly to continue. Nuclear weapons were supposed to make conventional warfare obsolete. Precision-guided munitions were supposed to make conflicts shorter and more decisive. Yet wars continue, and military forces adapt and find new ways to fight. What's different this time might be the speed and scope of technological advancement. Instead of one revolutionary weapon, China appears to be developing multiple game-changing technologies simultaneously and integrating them into a coherent military doctrine. This systemic approach to military innovation could be more significant than any individual weapons system. The global response and arms race implications. The revelation of China's advanced military capabilities has sent shockwaves through defense establishments around the world. The question everyone is asking is, how should other nations respond to these developments? The United States, historically the world's dominant military superpower, is facing a challenge unlike any it has encountered since the end of the Cold War. Defense experts are discussing the need for new deterrent strategies in response to China's technological advances. But what does new deterrence look like when your potential opponent possesses weapons that could neutralize your ability to retaliate? Traditional military strategy has relied heavily on what experts call survivable second strike capability. The idea that even if your enemy launches a surprise attack, you'll still have enough military assets left to deliver a devastating counterattack. This mutual assured destruction concept worked during the Cold War because both sides understood that starting a war would ultimately lead to their own annihilation. But hypersonic weapons, AI-powered autonomous systems, and advanced stealth technology could potentially undermine this balance. If one side believes it can disable the opponent's ability to retaliate before they can respond, the calculus of conflict changes dramatically. This is leading to what some analysts are calling a new arms race, but one that's fundamentally different from previous competitions between superpowers. Instead of building more tanks, ships, and planes, the focus is shifting toward developing technologies that can operate at superhuman speeds, make decisions autonomously, and remain undetected by conventional sensors. European nations are grappling with their own responses to these developments. The European Union has historically focused on diplomatic solutions and economic leverage rather than military competition. But China's technological advances are forcing a re-evaluation of these approaches. How do you negotiate with a nation that possesses weapons capable of striking anywhere in Europe within minutes? Smaller nations are facing even more complex challenges. Countries that have relied on geographic distance or alliance protection for their security are discovering that traditional defensive strategies might no longer be effective. When your potential adversary can strike globally with precision and speed, concepts like safe havens and buffer zones lose much of their meaning. The economic dimension of this arms race is equally concerning. Developing and deploying these advanced military technologies requires enormous investments in research and development, manufacturing capabilities, and skilled personnel. Nations that can't keep pace technologically might find themselves at an increasingly severe disadvantage. But there's also a flip side to consider. Military technology has historically driven innovation that eventually benefits civilian applications. The internet, GPS, and countless other technologies we use daily originated from military research programs. China's investments in AI, advanced materials, and precision manufacturing could lead to breakthroughs that revolutionize civilian industries as well. In conclusion, China's new military technologies, from lasers and hypersonic missiles to AI drones and stealth, could redefine warfare. The real question is whether these advances will prevent wars through deterrence or push the world closer to dangerous new conflicts. What do you think? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new era in warfare, or is this just another step in the ongoing evolution of military technology? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.